All right, what is up? We are live. Took a little minute to get on here, but hopefully everything is rolling good. A couple things to go over. Let's see before we jump into is Iowa sold out, which is and that race isn't until August. And a lot of people have things to say about it this way and that way. The negative side, I'll just start with that because it's NASCAR, right? Whenever there's a story, there's going to be a positive and there's going to be a negative. So the negative is Iowa only holds 40 or 60,000 people. How many, Iowa holds, which if you go to any college football game, even Saturday or whatever, they don't hold nearly that many. So a lot of people, want to be like that about it, but I'm going to look at it on the positive side. This is the second year, and typically the second year of a race is where you see the fall off, and there's been no fall off over there in Iowa. So shout out to Iowa, good racetrack. They continue to sell it out 2 years in a row. They've sold it out. And this is why I say the tracks that have two dates, when they can't sell out those two dates, you should give that date to another track and see if that track can sell it out, because Iowa has taken their opportunity and they've run with it. They continue to sell it out. So that's why I say each track, honestly, except with the exception of Daytona and Talladega, each track honestly should only have one race. Maybe you make an argument for Martinsville because they sell out both races, but aside from those, tracks right there, I would say, let the other tracks have one date. They sell it out. And that would be the best thing going forward. But good positive momentum for Iowa. So wanted to start off with a positive story. And I mentioned any given Sunday college football because the interesting thing going over there with Bristol is they're having a baseball game. And I think that's just just a really cool deal. Not necessarily NASCAR related aside from being at the track, but they've got the Braves and the Cincinnati Reds, and they're going to play at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, Bristol, I think, has done a college football game, I think, with Tennessee and somebody, and I think they set an attendance record doing that as well. I can't remember if Ann Arbor, Michigan eclipsed them or not, but I think they have the attendance record at Bristol. But either way, whether they do or whether they don't, really cool deal. Really excited for the baseball game thing. And even though it's not necessarily NASCAR related, was curious to see if you guys are excited about it and how many of you are actually going to attend the Braves and the Cincinnati Reds game there. I know the Braves have a huge fan base where I'm at, and I feel like Bristol is close enough to Cincinnati that you could pull a bunch of people from the Cincinnati area. Cincinnati travels hard, travels well. I see a lot of them back when I lived near the Outer Banks. A lot of people from Ohio would be going to the Outer Banks a lot. So Ohio people travel well. So I feel like there will be plenty of Reds fans there. Definitely going to be a ton of Braves fans there. The South's adopted team is the Atlanta Braves. So I wanted to start off with that. I think the Bristol deal is really cool. And that's another way that some of these tracks that only have one date, they could subsidize. They could do, big events like this. It's called promotion, right? Get out there and be a track promoter. It doesn't just have to be racing. So I thought that was a cool story. And then, of course, the big story, the one that everybody's talking about, SVG locks his way into the playoffs, a la what Harrison Burton did last year. He's not necessarily, top, 20 in points or whatever, and he's taking a well-earned spot away from somebody. So let's talk about that aspect of it first. Whether you like the points or don't like the points, he's not taking anybody's spot away, because at the beginning of this season, everybody knew the rules and everybody knew how the points were set up. So he's not taking anybody's spot away because everybody knows that this is how this system is, okay? So SVG, Trackhouse they're playing the system the way the system should be played. Now, if you don't like the system, that is a separate conversation, and I'm actually going to get to that in just a second. But SVG, Trackhouse playing the game as it's laid out in front of them. So as far as that goes, that is a good thing for them strategically. They're doing the right thing there. Now, to the point of, do you like this system? And this is going to be, of course, the poll question. Several people have come out once again and spoke out about the system itself. And I do think that merits some conversation. I've been very vocal for a long period of time that the system itself is very flawed, but it does create something in the way of drama. You can't take away from the fact that it does increase drama. As much as I like the full system playoffs, it is entertaining to see somebody win and get in. Now, is there some type of hybrid system that they could come up with in the future? Obviously, Maybe you could let 16 drivers in, the 8 drivers that are best in points, and then 8 drivers that win. And if there aren't 8 drivers outside of the top 16 in points, cycle it in that way. Maybe have some type of hybrid system. There's all kinds of ways to have a hybrid system of it if you like it. But it's undeniable when even though Austin Dillon didn't get in, if Austin Dillon had got in last year, that would have been very entertaining. He would have bumped somebody. Harrison Burton did get in basically the very next week, and that did bump somebody. So it creates this drama. So what you want basically is you want a full season system that rewards a deserving champion, but you also want every single race, you want the driver to go out there and drive like that race is the only thing that matters to get in. Those are the 2 things you're going after. Now, of course, what you could do is have a full season worth of points and just weigh the races more, but that's still not going to get you that same level of drama because originally, before the playoffs, any type of playoff system was invented. That's all the fans wanted. Then we went to all of these playoff systems, and we've got what we've got now. But you can't take away the good aspect of it, that it does create drama, and some people like that drama. It does make the very last race interesting, and there's all kinds of different ways you can go about managing the playoffs, and that is, of course, the poll question. And of course, I think we've got enough to talk about here in the chat now, so we'll just jump on into the chat from here. But the poll question is, win and you're in should be only the top 20 in points, done away with for full season points. Keep it. It sucks, but I like drama. And just here because you cure my insomnia, 6% so far for I cure insomnia. I love it. You guys are awesome. Let's see here. Jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. Douglas Serrano, what's up, my friend? What's up, Lanes? OJ, what's up, my friend? Cassandra saying, what's up from Idaho? What's up, Cassandra? What is up? The gem state of Idaho, also known as Potato Country. OJ and Toothpaste, what do you think of SVG crew chief telling him to slow down twice? So what I took away from that, OJ, was sometimes you don't want to win too big for several reasons. You can say that the crew chief wanted him to save his tires there. Maybe that's why he was doing it. There's also the school of thought that if you win by too much, they're going to tear your car down and take you through tech for an extended period of time. You don't want them to do that. So you got to make it look good. You don't want to skunk the field like that. So those were the immediate 2 things I thought of when I heard the crew chief saying, hey, you need to slow down. So that's kind of where I stand as far as that goes. OJ and Toothpaste saying hello from Jackson, Wyoming today. What's up, OJ and Toothpaste? Wyoming, a nice area. Definitely a fun place to visit. And if you it's one of those areas when you're driving through Wyoming, you're like, man, don't let me get a flat tire, because there's maybe 2 or 3 big cities in Wyoming, but then the rest of it is just beautiful scenery. But if something happens, you're going to be a hot minute before somebody gets there. But a really cool place to drive through is Wyoming for sure. I like Dale Jr.'s idea he had on his show this week, saying he would take a point system where 95% full season points, then have like 4 to 5 drivers race it out in the final 3 races. Yeah, so good point there. If there's any number of ways you could do a hybrid system for the points or whatever, literally, I guess we could do a whole live stream about different points formats, and we could put them up on a board and see which one wins out, right? But I feel like it's always going to be full season points, right? That's the one that's always going to win out at the end of the day. But yeah, there's any number of ways you could go about it to create drama, because what the playoffs do is create drama, and TNT knows drama, and they're coming up soon. But that's basically what NASCAR wanted to do. But then they've skewed too far toward drama, because once you skew too far towards drama, you reach that TMZ territory where you don't have any substance. It's all drama, right? There's no substance. So now you're crowning champions that are just so vastly different from the championship winners of the past that there's no way to compare them. So you have to come up with these different ways of comparing champions, past and present, and it just creates it just creates a whole lot of negative talk at the end of the day with the current system we have. So I think that they can come up with a hybrid format But one thing remains certain. They need to do something with the points format because I think everybody with this current points format we've had, I think the vast majority of fans would like to at least see it, at the very least, see it tweaked or changed just a little bit. Virginia Tech against Tennessee was the Bristol game. Tennessee versus Virginia Tech had 150K attendance, says Dirty Def. So there you go. I think that does lead the way. What do you think of Mark Martin and Richard Petty's comments on SVG in the playoffs, says OJ and Toothpaste? I think that they spoke their mind, that what a lot of fans are definitely thinking. And it's no shit. And that's why I said at the beginning of the show, everybody had the same point system coming into this year. So they knew how the points were this season. So I don't think any of that hate is directed at SVG, but I do think you can direct all of that hate at the system. Absolutely. You do not have to like this system because this system is vastly flawed. There's never going to be a perfect system. There's always going to be something about the system that NASCAR fans aren't going to like. And when NASCAR fans don't like something, one thing that we're very good at as NASCAR fans is making it very vocal and loud that we don't like a certain system or a certain aspect of racing or whatever. We're super good at that for sure. As long as there's NASCAR fans, there's going to be something to bitch about, is basically another way of saying that. For sure. So I think they have a good point, though. And I think they're speaking for a large swath of NASCAR fans when they talk about this system doesn't make any sense, because they've got a pretty good point. This system itself doesn't make any sense, but it is the system. So I can't take anything away from Trackhouse or Shane Van Gisbergen for just, don't hate the player, hate the game. Go ahead and hate the game. Austin Dillon got screwed last year, says PC Gone Rogue. I think so too. I think Austin Dillon, the whole punishment for Austin Dillon, they let him keep the win. They let him race in the All-Star race. He's still on the wins list, but they didn't let him in the playoffs. So that tells you all you need to know about NASCAR, knowing that there is a massive flaw in the system, and they still didn't fix that flaw for this year. That would have been an easy tweak they could have made, but they're like, oh, we can't do that or whatever. So, it is what it is. We'll move on. But yeah, Austin Dillon, in my opinion, definitely got screwed. I know a lot of people a lot of people didn't believe that, but 100% in my opinion as well. Austin Dillon got screwed. Tell me about the Hoyt-Toyters around the Outer Banks. I didn't even know that was a thing until a couple of years ago. It's just a different dialect, and it's only a really small section of the Outer Banks. You're probably not. It's really. I don't want to say it's died out, but it's died out quite a bit. Like, the only people you're really going to see speaking that are, I don't think I've seen a younger person speak it. Well, and to be fair, I haven't been up there since like 2010, but I don't think I've seen a younger person speaking it. So it's definitely it's kind of like Creole, but except that language is dying out. There's a YouTuber who visited the Outer Banks, Peter Santero or something like that. So if you want to watch somebody will know who I'm talking about in the comments. So drop his name down in the comments. So if anybody wants to check it out, but he went to the Outer Banks and he talked to a Hoyt-Toyter, and you can hear the actual accent. But I haven't heard any young people speak it when I was near that area a while back. Rest in peace, Brian Wilson, not Cindric's crew chief. Says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, Beach Boy Brian Wilson. He left us last week, and that is or this week. I can't remember. But it's been fairly recently. He did leave us, and for sure, shout out to him. Shout out to the Beach Boys. Fewer and fewer Beach Boys left, unfortunately. Will Hocevar get in a fight with someone soon, says OJ and Toothpaste? And I don't know, man. That's just that's more TMZ-ification of NASCAR at the end of the day. Neither one of those guys are top 10 in points. And just to be honest with you, like, Carson Hocevar is like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", somewhere in there. Ricky Stenhouse is like 5'5", so he's given up about a foot worth of height. So honestly, like, and let's just be real about it. We saw what Ricky Stenhouse could do in a fight against Kyle Busch. So honestly, with Carson Hocevar's reach, he could just take his hand, put it out there, hold it on top of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s head, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would be out here wailing and wouldn't be able to reach him. So that's just not a fight I would really be worried about if I was Carson Hocevar. And I don't know why Ricky Stenhouse Jr. all of a sudden is trying to be the world's toughest dude on earth. I don't know if he's embarrassed over the Kyle Busch fight and his performance in that. I don't know if he went into like deep training. Do we get like a Rocky montage of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. training so that he gets good at fighting, so that the next time he fights, he can really show what he can do? Like, if you want to go full drama, let's put it all out there, because it really, at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of drama about two guys who aren't even in the top 16 in points. So I mean, it is what it is. Will Spinhouse pay back Hocevar, says OJ and Toothpaste. I mean, I imagine he would have to do it in the car, right? So, but that's going to be a dangerous game for both of them, because they're both right there on the playoff cut line, right? Or at least trying to get to the playoff cut line, which is, ever changing as more different winners win races, right? It'd be a dangerous game to play on the racetrack, obviously from a safety standpoint, but also from a point standpoint. You're going to take yourself out of a championship opportunity. And I don't know. The whole thing's ridiculous, to be honest with you. Let's see. Austin Dillon got screwed last year at Richmond because Stenhouse wrecked Priest with 2 to go. Yeah, which is good point, Douglas Serrano, which is ironic. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. complaining about people driving and wrecking and driving aggressively is literally one of the most hypocritical things on the face of this planet ever, of all time. So let's just put it all out there at the end of the day. I mean, could it be a bigger hypocritical person than what it is? I don't know, man. It's like I said, I try not to talk about it because it's literally the TMZification of NASCAR. So I'm trying to avoid it. But if you guys want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. I would like to be going back to the full season in points, but I've settled having to be top 20 in points to qualify for the playoffs. I think a lot of people are to that happy medium, not because they want that happy medium, but because they've given up on NASCAR ever going back to full season points. So I think a lot of people are in that. That's why I put that as an option for sure. Mexico was a good race, even with SVG running away with it at the end. As for Stenhouse versus Hocevar, what happens down in Mexico stays in Mexico. Toby Keith, rest in peace, Toby Keith, Napa racing fan with that one. I'm part of that 6%. BB says in between the lanes, my man. Appreciate you looking out for me as always. I cure in between the lanes insomnia. This is his therapy. Enzo, my friend, what's up? Hope you enjoyed your race this weekend. See everyone. Nobody had any issues in Mexico. Everyone is back home safe, and I feel the industry wants to come back. I'm happy with how everything went this weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. Good call, Enzo. And like I said, I've never been to Mexico, but we trust Enzo because Enzo's our buddy. And Enzo let us know that everybody was going to be okay. And at the end of the day, Enzo was right. So I'm glad you got to watch the race, my friend. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm certainly glad that everything went well. And NASCAR does seem like they want to go back. So good deal all the way around for sure. Thunder up 3-2. Florida could win the Cup tonight. I want McDavid to win the Cup and Thunder to win the finals, says in between the lanes. There you go. Lanes pulling for the hockey mecca that is Florida to get themselves another championship for that state. Napa racing fan, full season points won't happen. Best possible case scenario, I think, is having a championship 4-round with 3 races instead of 1 deciding the champion. I would prefer Winston Cup points, though. So the Latford system, I think, is what you're referring to as far as Winston Cup points, because there have been a couple of different points formats in the Cup Series over the years. Richard Petty has won races with a full lap over second, says PC Gone Rogue. Indeed. When you win 200 races, some of them are going to be like that. So it is what it is at the end of the day, for sure. But yeah, I think a tweak to the point system could also be something that happens. The way points are awarded is what I mean by that. So all kinds of things can be done for sure. I like some of the moments that the playoffs produce, but I'm not a fan of that empty feeling you have at the end of the season when the champion really doesn't reflect who had the best year. And that is basically what I'm referring to, Dirty Def. I'm glad you put it that way, because yes, it creates excitement, it creates drama, and in the moment, it feels amazing. It is really fun to watch. It's exciting. But as soon as the champion is crowned, you're left with that empty feeling that you're talking about. Like, what level of substance does this championship have that I just watched because it was decided by one race in this crazy system that was fun to watch leading up to it? But do I weigh this championship the same way I would weigh a Richard Petty championship? Do I weigh this championship the same way I would weigh a Jeff Gordon championship? Do I weigh this championship the way I would rate a Dale Earnhardt Sr. or a even a Jimmy Johnson, because he was a little bit of a different chase format. Do I weigh it the same way I would weigh a Jimmy Johnson championship? And the best case in point there, even with those championships, is Carl Edwards. A lot of Carl Edwards fans are still left bitter on the playoff system because Carl Edwards had a stone cold lead pipe lock championship taken away from him because of that playoff system. So even the Jimmy Johnson playoff system had its critics. And then there's a Richard Petty championship where he won the Daytona 500, and that basically more or less, because of the way the Daytona 500 was rated, sealed his deal for the championship, because the Daytona 500 was so many more points back then and so much more prize money. Prize money actually played into the point system back then too. So winning the Daytona 500 gave you this huge lead and advantage over winning all the other races. So there's always been critiques of the point system throughout history, and this is no different. But it just feels like right now there are more people not happy about this playoff system, at least in my lifetime, than I can ever remember being unhappy about the playoff system. And it is, to your point, Dirty Def, to bring it back to that, it's because you have this empty feeling at the end of the year that, was this really the best guy all season that won this championship? And that's just the nature of how it is, because this is different than any other sport. You're racing against everybody every single weekend. It's not like, basketball or football where you play some teams, but you don't play all the teams. So I don't know. It needs to be at least examined and looked at the very least tweaked, if not completely overhauled. The playoffs are entertaining. NASCAR can't get rid of manufactured entertainment, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, and that's just to what we were just talking about. It is entertaining in the moment, but you feel empty. And just as a whole meta, the way social media is set up right now with the algorithms and stuff, that seems to be like all of the entertainment you watch, it draws you in and engages you for the moment. But if you even remember what you just watched 5 minutes ago, you definitely don't feel like, man, I really watched something important there, And that's kind of how the NASCAR playoffs are set up right now too. It's actually kind of mirroring society in a weird way. But that's a whole different bag of stuff to get into. NASCAR was required to pay the cost to return the original condition of the LA Coliseum while holding races there. Who will foot the bill to rebuild the removed buildings and track after the game? Says Jamie Schweitzer. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. They're done with the LA Coliseum, so that's a done deal as far as that goes. This is all Jimmy Johnson's fault. They finally found a system he couldn't beat. Stage racing playoffs that started in 2017, and we've used it ever since, says Cody Ledger. That's a really good point. So Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson were just ahead of the game as far as figuring out the chase format. I think the longer the chase format went on, other people caught up to what Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus were doing. And I think if you would just let that play out, but Jimmy Johnson, what did he win? 4 or 5 in a row? He won a bunch of them in a row. And it just kind of, for half a decade, which felt like an entire decade, it felt like 20 years. It felt like we watched Jimmy Johnson win the championship for 20 years, if you really want to get down to it. But it ruined it for a lot of people, because it was the same thing in F1 with Michael Schumacher. You really just got, and nothing against Jimmy Johnson, you just get tired of seeing the same dude win. You feel like Groundhog Day, right? We're just going in and watching the same thing happen over and over again. And nothing against Jimmy Johnson or Chad Knaus, and nothing against the drivers of that era. They were all good drivers. They just didn't have the playoff format figured out the way that Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson had the playoff format figured out. So it is what it is. Recently had a lot of diecast got canceled. Chumba Casino cars, says In Between Lanes. That's a shame. We don't get a Chumba Casino's car. I know that was a favorite of everybody here. Literally the best looking car ever made. That's just science, really. I heard Steven Doran, SVG's crew chief, and like you brought up, said the reason he was telling him to slow down is he didn't want him to burn up his tires in case there was a caution, says Dirty Def. Yep, for sure. And I think another aspect of it is you don't want to beat them so bad that they take your car to R&D and tear it down. Rest in peace, Ann Burrell, popular Food Network chef. Okay, says Joseph Wooten. I'm not familiar with her, but that is a bummer for sure. The best hybrid format would be having owner points the full season and let the driver be the stupid entertainment / racing. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Charlotte, 100%. I'd love to have full season points. I just have kind of given up on it because I just don't feel like NASCAR is going to go there and do that. But I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope I'm proven wrong for sure because that to me that's the best format. The English, and I take it back to the English Premier League. They play all the teams. Like that's one round ball league that where they actually play all every team plays every other team at least once or twice. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know they play everybody at least once. So and they accrue points, and whoever has the most points out of the end of it, that's who your champion is. And if the champion is decided with 3 or 4 games left to go, so be it. But you and they go the opposite way. Like the entertainment is the game on the field, and that's where the entertainment's at. The champion is a deserving champion, and we're just going to stand on principle. We're not worried about how the rest of the world is doing things. We're going to continue to do it this way. We're going to continue to do it our way. So they've taken the opposite approach of NASCAR, where NASCAR has just tried to change with the times and sort of mirror everything that's going on with the times. And to an extent, NASCAR, like I was talking about earlier, NASCAR does mirror the times. They mirror social media perfectly. It's entertaining, but at the end of it, you're like, what did I just watch? And why do I feel empty and hollow inside? So that is just two different ways of going about your business, and you either like it or you don't. I think there should be a points minimum to make the playoffs. If you're, but you're 100% BB, the system is what it is, so I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, I can't complain about Trackhouse or SVG winning because everybody knew the system at the beginning of the year. What I would like to see is a different system by next year. They've got plenty of time to work on it. They've known it's a problem literally for a decade now, and hopefully it's finally hit them that they need to do something about it because it was really bad last year. People are still complaining about it this year. It's not going away. You can't continue to bury your head in the sand and act like everything is okay. BB with the phrase for sure says in between. Yeah, for sure, in between the lanes. They can't make it up. They can't make it top 30 in points. They want to have Ware make the playoffs on a Daytona win while being dead last in points as an F race fan. That would be the ultimate. That's what I need to happen. I need to have a big wreck where nobody gets hurt at Daytona or Talladega, and somebody that is literally like dead last normally locks in on points. That would be the ultimate. That's what I need to see happen. Because what everybody complains about there, oh, that's the waste of a playoff spot. I need an actual waste of a playoff spot. Someone who is not going to score a single point in the playoffs as far as bonus points go. Hostvar was fined by his team for making some remarks. What did he say? He complained about the venue and his PR team. I'm sure got talked to by NASCAR, and I'm pretty sure that his PR team made him and his spotter walk back the comments they made about Mexico. I don't even remember what the comments were, but I did see the apology. So he made some negative comments about the venue, and then to his credit, he said, "Look, I'd never been out of the country, and I actually enjoyed my time here once I actually left my hotel room. So it is what it is. But don't think for one second he wasn't told to say that. And to your point, he was fined by his team. So it is what it is. There's always going to be people that have this opinion. There's always going to be people that have that opinion. BB, did you get that Austin Dillon Richmond win diecast yet? I did. I actually got it this week. I haven't opened it up out of the box yet, but I will pretty soon here. Doing some work on another area, and I don't want to open it up until then. But hopefully that area will be done soon. I feel SVG deserves a chase spot more than Harrison Burton did last year. Dude has strengths. HB had a guy with nothing to lose push him. Whoop the F and do, says Charlotte. Yeah, so that's a good point, Charlotte. It's not even comparable to plate racing. Look, plate racing, there is a lot of skill to it. I'm not going to sit here and be like every plate winner is lucky. I don't believe that at all. There is definitely an art and a skill to plate racing. That's why Denny Hamlin has 3 Daytona 500s, right? So Dale Earnhardt Sr. was celebrated for plate racing as well as Dale Jr. There is an art to it. There is a way to do it. However, there is a lot more luck involved in it because you have to avoid big wrecks. So that can't be underestimated. But what SVG did, that was 100% pure skill. And he showed what he could do at a road course. So definitely 2 different types of tracks to win at. I will agree with you on that 100%. Dylan said with the Richmond win, I did what I had to do. No, you didn't. You chose to do that. Sure, win and you're in allows that to happen. Doesn't make it purposely wrecking people, right? Says Napa Racing fan. it doesn't make it right. But to be honest with you, how many times have we seen drivers purposely wreck people for the win? But Austin Dillon was the only one in the history of NASCAR since the playoffs have started that actually had the playoffs taken away from him when he intentionally wrecked somebody. We've seen a ton of other people intentionally wreck or intentionally move somebody out of the way, and they didn't get penalized for it. Now everybody can cry all day long about, oh, he put somebody's door into the wall. You know, it is what it is. You can talk about the shades of what he did, but at the end of the day, he wrecked somebody for a win. We've seen other drivers wreck people for the win, and Austin Dillon was the only driver that had the playoffs taken away from him because NASCAR decided we're going to do something about it this time. You know, because that's NASCAR. NASCAR is consistently inconsistent. That's the nature of NASCAR. If Stenhouse and John Hunter Nemechek can have playoff spots, why not SVG? I don't really care anymore, says Shaw. Yeah, it's the system. Like everybody knew the system to begin the season, but you know, I think people want the system to change. So you're going to hear a lot about it going forward. Devers got traded to the Giants. Says in between the lanes, Russell Westbrook, free agent after declining his option. Russell Westbrook still playing in the league. Good to know. He's got to be close to 40. Regular season champion is my champion. The race is just the playoffs is just bonus racing or DLC content for a video game, says Shaw. The chase I meant, says Shaw. That's right. We must not call it the playoffs. We must call it the chase. And then they changed it and started calling it the playoffs. After for years telling us that we need to call it the chase. It's not a playoff. It's a chase. That's the level of gaslighting that NASCAR does, in my opinion, allegedly. Kind of curious how Pocono goes with the in-season tournament seeding. Right now, there's some good-looking matchups in round one, of course. Round 1 through 3 is plate racing, street courses, road courses. So there is that, says Cody Legend. So there you go. The playoff seeding has one more race. I think they're going to seed it for one more race, and then I think they'll get into it from there, if I'm not mistaken. So interesting for sure. Wow. So that was old school dialect. I thought it was from New England at first. LOL, says Dirty Duff. Yeah, it just really just depends. It's kind of it's kind of a cross between Scottish, Irish, and Old English. If you really want to get into the hoity-toity type of language, but I could see where it might sound like some New England-ish, a little bit. Let's see here. Did you like the Mexico race? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I thought it was a good race. Me personally, I appreciated what I was watching. You were watching the best stock car drivers. Stock cars. They haven't been stock cars since 1967. But you're watching the best stock car drivers on earth, and then they got their tails handed to them by one dude. So whenever you see somebody absolutely blow them the freak out like that, that's impressive. So me watching that, I was just like, man, this dude's good. The only person who could even hang with him, shout out to Ty Gibbs, Teasy, he was the only Rocket Randall Gibbs was the only one that could even he was only one that could stay in the same neighborhood as SVG. So shout out to him for sure. To be fair, Stenhouse was 13th in points before he got involved with the 77. LOL, says Dirty Duff. Yeah, but I mean, the law of averages, you knew Stenhouse was eventually going to do Stenhouse things and be where Stenhouse was going to be. Same thing with John Hunter Nemechek at the beginning of the season. He had a great start to the season, but then he started doing John Hunter Nemechek things, and he's taken himself all the way down to below his teammate Eric Jones now. So law of averages, everything is going to even out before the playoffs start. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will always be right there at the cutoff line every single year unless he wins a race. Like, that's just where he's always going to be at without winning a race. Let's see. Regarding Hocevar versus Stenhouse, we've seen Stenhouse for long enough now. We know what he's going to do. He's either going to win or he's going to wreck. And if he doesn't win, he's always going to be right there at the playoff cut line. Some years he makes it, some years he doesn't. Regarding Hocevar versus Stenhouse, okay, let's take Ricky out of the equation. Fact is, if Hocevar wants to keep racing the way, he better get some self-defense learning, says Aisha. I mean, yeah, but I mean, there's not a lot of Kung Fu experts who drive race cars. So just going to throw that out there too. Just going to put that out there. It's a lot of rich dudes driving race cars. So not a lot of them I would be scared of throwing hands. Ryan Truex Jr. the third, after filling in for James Dennis Allen Hamlin. Yahoo sources tell me allegedly says in between the lanes. For sure, for sure. RTJ the third junior. He filled in and did a good job, except for a couple spins, one of his own doing and one that he had nothing to do with. Unfortunately, 77. But yeah, for sure, Carson Hocevar knows he's got to clean it up. But it's not the first time we've seen a young kid that knows that they've got to clean up how they race. Like, it's part of the deal. It's part of the deal. The veterans know that too. The veterans know that because the veterans were once that dude. They were once Carson Hocevar. So he'll grow, he'll mature, and he'll clean it up for sure. 77 definitely has more raw speed, but the 47 definitely got screwed twice by the 77 system. Yeah, so I'm not saying Ricky Stenhouse Jr. doesn't have anything to be mad about. It's just ironic that it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. because, to my point, he's a veteran now, right? But it used to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that was doing the Carson Hocevar stuff. So that's what I'm saying. It's so ironic that he's mad at Carson Hocevar because it used to literally be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that was doing the overly aggressive stuff to other people. So it's life. It's life. You live long enough, you see some funny stuff. If I'm Ricky, I'm tackling Hocevar. So there goes the research. I mean, I don't know if he can get him to the ground, man. Like it would be interesting. We'll see what happens. Probably nothing physical, I'm betting. Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, much to do about nothing. Yeah, it's just a bunch of jaw jacking. I don't think we're going to see anything come of it. We might see once the playoffs start, we might see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wreck Carson Hocevar. That would be my guess. That would be probably what I think is going to happen there. 0 for 2 picks at Mexico City, Christopher Bell and Xfinity, and Kyle Busch in Cup says in between the lanes. I picked SVG. I don't know who I picked for Xfinity, but I definitely picked the Cup side of it the right way. We shouldn't be unhappy with SVG win, just like Burton's win last year. However, this dumb format has fans complaining about underdog winners for fun stories like SVG. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm happy for the win. I like the fact that it's a good story, but I just don't like the playoff system. So I'm going to save all that. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to boo-hoo about it until the end of the year. And then once again, I will make my tri-annual I hate the playoffs video. So it is what it is. Thanks, my friend. Praying they come back next year. It felt like living a dream watching NASCAR in person after 20 years. I'm glad you got to see it, man. And that's really cool. So you got to see it for the first time in 20 years. And there were a lot of fans down there that got to see it for the first time ever. And I think what was really, really cool about it, especially the ones that went to the Xfinity race, is they got to see the hometown guy at least win one of those races. So shout out to Daniel Suarez. And he gave it hell in the NASCAR race too, finishing 19th, but just didn't have quite the Cup Series level car, or at least the Cup Series results that he had, obviously, in Xfinity. NASCAR somehow beat out F1 in TV ratings, Prime versus ABC. So there you go. And NASCAR living healthy right now, even though it's on Prime. And fewer people can see it. They beat out literal network TV on the biggest racing series worldwide. They beat them out in United States TV coverage. We should be clear about that. I know this is more TMZ type stuff, so I apologize. But thoughts about the comments made by Hocevar about Mexico? I was surprised it really wasn't reported by all the NASCAR media. So okay, so I'll talk about this part of it because I don't know what Carson Hocevar said. I think I saw what his spotter said. And it wasn't like the craziest thing I've ever heard. But the reason the NASCAR media didn't report about it is because they were told to shut up about it. So they tried to keep it as quiet as possible. And then NASCAR got to Carson Hocevar and said, hey, you need to change your tune and you need to apologize. We're guests here and you don't need to act like that, which is fair enough. So, it is what it is. There wasn't any I don't think anything serious happened. So, I mean, it is what it is. And that's basically what happened. But that's why that's NASCAR basically controls their media. They've always controlled their media. This is not surprising. It is the iron curtain of NASCAR. If you step out of line, you get like whack-a-mole, you get hit and put back down into your place. That's why I like YouTube. You can say what you want to say as long as you're not affiliated with NASCAR. I would just like to see NASCAR have more respect to the regular season winner. It's like your rodeo queen. And also, to that point, I like YouTube because you can say what you want to about NASCAR. Notice that NASCAR has about 4 million videos a day on the NASCAR channel, and they've got, all of a sudden, all these other drivers have YouTube channels that they started themselves after NASCAR paid them to do it because NASCAR wants to flood YouTube with as many videos as possible to sort of drown out all the independent people that talk about NASCAR. So don't think that that's not planned as well. But I digress. Letting Logano into the round of 8 because Bowman got that DQ was the worst possible decision. Says Charlotte Ander. Oh yeah. So that was the oh god, what was that? Was it a did he miss weight? Yeah, he missed weight. So yeah, that was a huge turning point in the season. And Blake Harris, the crew chief for Alex Bowman, he owned up to it. He said, "Man, we were pushing it way too tight there, and we overstepped the boundaries." But yeah, that one decision right there. If Bowman had made weight, we have a different champion. So crazy the way that all played out. Good call there, Charlotte. I would like to see NASCAR have more respect to regular season winner. It's like your rodeo queen and princess. They both get the same showtime, says Shah. Indeed. The regular season champion is it even an afterthought at this point? I think last year didn't Tyler Reddick when he won it didn't I don't think Steve Phelps or anybody. I think it was reported. I don't know if this is true or not, but I remember it being reported at the time that Steve Phelps or nobody from NASCAR went down there to shake his hand or congratulate him, probably because of the lawsuit that was going on. Can you imagine if Denny or KFB made those comments? Story would be everywhere. Says Dirty Death. Indeed, but they don't stream on Twitch from what I hear, and that's where the comments were made. I know it was streaming on Twitch. Like I said, I just haven't seen exactly what he said. I think his spotter said something on Twitter or something like that. So I did see what he said, but I said, but I can't remember what he said off the top of my head. He was complaining about the panhandling or something as soon as he went out of his hotel room or something like that. It was like I said, it wasn't the worst thing, but NASCAR didn't like it. Should have been around a 7 at that point, says Charlotte Anner. Anybody else see Joseph Newgarden's flip at Worldwide Technology, also known as Gateway? Yeah, it was pretty crazy. He went up on his lid, but he is okay. I think this is people in the industry giving a 22-year-old a break, so I get it, says Dirty Death. Yeah, I mean that's another way of looking at it. I like to look at it from my tinfoil hat point of view that NASCAR shut it down. NASCAR drivers are not rodeo queens; they are drama queens, says Shaw. I hate this stupid one race Final Four playoff, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, one race to decide a championship it's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. Luda. Yes, that was a wild. Newgarden colliding into the 45 of Foster for Ray Hall. Glad he got out okay. Even crazier look on the board. And how fast did that track official get over there and try to help him after he slid? I think the track was still high. That dude like jumped the wall and he was trying to help. So shout out to the official putting his body in the way of danger there. Russell Dominguez, what's up, my friend? Let's go. Let's freaking go, buddy. Let's see. Do you like Taco John's? Have you eaten it or heard of it? Really good. I haven't been to a Taco John's, so I'll have to next time I'm on the West Coast, I will have to check out the old Taco John's because I don't think we have them here on the East Coast, but I could be wrong about that. Let's see. Have you seen the seating for the in-season tourney with one race to go? Ty Gibbs 4th seed, Byron 15th seed. This is so stupid, says Bruce Garvey. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's three races to seed it, and then you have something to DraftKings about. So it's all about the DraftKings angle, in my opinion. Aha, blame Jimmy and Chad for this format. Rolling on the floor, laughing my butt off, says Shah. I mean, it is what it is. They are definitely who broke the system. Newgarden nearly went airborne over the pit wall upside down into pit road. Thankful for the aero screen, says Napa Race fan. Indeed. Broken record moment. We remember the 1992 season because it was special. Thank you. It was special because they actually had to work and it was a close finish. Like it had meaning and it was a close finish, right? Like it had gravity to it because it was earned for sure. Engineering a 4-man shootout where everything is made up and the points don't matter is the opposite of special. Exactly. It doesn't have the same weight to it. That is a fact. The same stakes. You have to have stakes to create real drama. That is a fact. Look at any tutorial on creating drama when you're writing a story, and the stakes have to matter for the drama to matter. So you get this manufactured drama, which doesn't have the same weight as actual drama with stakes to it. One thing I'll give Hocevar when asked about the point system, he was like, I think it's cool. I only have to win 4 certain races to win a championship, says Dirty Death. Yeah. So that's I mean, he nailed it. Like that's exactly what you should respond if you want to get it changed. It's becoming more like whose cup is it anyway at this point? Says Charlotte Ander. For sure, for sure. Her referencing, of course, whose line is it anyway? Where all the everything's made up and the points don't matter. Brian was definitely the worst. Not saying the Steves were amazing, but definitely have the sport in a better position than he did. Says Napa Race fan for sure, because the two Steves are actually sober. Would probably be the best way of saying that. Napa Racing fan 927. Yep, says in between the lanes. So you don't feel like Groundhog Day. So you don't like Groundhog Day. Says OJ and Toothpaste as a movie. It was an entertaining movie. I still don't know necessarily what the point of Groundhog Day was. If somebody can tell me what was the lesson we all learned from Groundhog Day, I would like to know it. But at the end of the day, yeah, Groundhog Day was a good movie. Groundhog Day in real life, not so much. I still can't believe we're still running with the playoffs after Brian France left NASCAR in 2018 and got arrested for the bad thing he did there and the other stuff that he was doing there. Those two words, YouTube doesn't like Douglas Serrano, so I'm not going to say them. But you can read what Douglas wrote. Let's see, 2311 Toyota Camry XSEs of Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace Jr. the third. Mobile One schemes canceled on that long list, BB. Now that's unfortunate. The Mobile One schemes are actually really good looking. So that does stink that they were eliminated. Bad deal, bad form, Lionel. Two great things happened with the 2018 Watkins Glen race. Chase Elliott winning and Brian being down, says Napa Racing fan. So there you go. There you go. Crazy that was that long ago when Chase Elliott won his first race in the Sun Energy, the interesting paint scheme for a first win. One of the ugliest paint schemes of all time, but he got his first win in it. I'm here for all the tears for the SVG win, says Quattro. Quattro, what's up, my man? Quattro in the Discord said SVG winning would feed generations. So there you go. Generations have been fed for the SVG win. Quattro, your resident Trackhouse fanatic for sure. Let's see. I heard Larry Mack tell a story last week. They had won Michigan with Davey by like 11 seconds. Said last week, Bill France Jr. casually said perhaps they need to figure out how to win by less, says Dirty Def. That's right. Bill France Jr. was and Senior were notorious for saying, "Don't stink up my damn show." That was a for sure thing that they did back in the day. Regular season goes by points. Top 16 make it in the playoffs. Playoff drivers win, advance to the final round. I could have 10 teams going for the championship. Let's gimmick the hell out of it, says like this, like for sure. Elite, what's up, my friend? What's up, everyone? FNBC, that is all, says Elite. So there you go. FNBC. Let's go. Fox, I feel like Fox would have to be on that list as well. No Dragon, BK Meal. Stream, LOL, says OJ and Toothpaste. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth, man. It's Burger King, but they wouldn't let me have it their way. So yeah, I couldn't get it the way that I wanted it, so I couldn't order it. And since you can only order it from the app, I couldn't talk to an actual person about how I wanted it modified. So yeah, that's where we stand with the Dragon Meal. But I will relentlessly pursue it. We will try to get something going, perhaps for Sunday, although it would probably be too early in the morning for the Sunday stream, but we'll figure something out. If nothing else, I'll make I think I can do 90 seconds on Discord. So I'll make a 90-second video and drop it on Discord at the very least. Let's see. Quattro saying people cry until their favorite driver benefits. Facts. I appreciate you. 15 months now, 15 months on the channel. But yeah, nailed it on the head. That was a double. That's a double because right on the money. It always sucks unless it's your driver. When it's your driver that benefits from it, it's all right. It's not that big a deal. And I say that as a Kyle Larson fan, proudly. Playoffs destroyed the legitimacy of the championship. Drivers talking about the Charlotte rain deal, by the way. Playoffs destroyed the legitimacy of the championship. Drivers have said titles today don't matter as much. Facts, all facts. Napa Race fan. It's sweepstakes instead of the best battling it out naturally on points. Yeah, I can't disagree with any of that, to be honest with you. And there's a way to tweak the playoff system where it wouldn't be like that. Like it would be an earned thing. There's an easy way to tweak that, but they still skew too far toward drama. And the more manufactured the drama, the less the stakes are because it's not earned. One thing I will say is SVG won his race by over 16 seconds, where Harrison Burton won on a green white checkered. Says Dirty Death. They don't. We don't have time for the green white checkered stuff today. Diffie tweeted that SVG should be in the playoffs since the 30th ranked golfers make the Masters. Come on, Diffie. Really dumb comparison, in my opinion, says Napa Racing Fan. I mean, he's towing the company line. He is paid to have a certain opinion, just like a lot of people are paid to have a certain opinion. And if you want to see a video about NASCAR shills that is really well done, check out Elite Precision's video on NASCAR shills. So there you go. Elite. Right there, right, actually, right below the comment. Let's see. I feel like you can agree or disagree with Carson Hocevar's comments and keep it pushing, but define him for having an opinion. I don't know, man. Stuff like this is why drivers are becoming more and more robotic. Well said. Well said. NASCAR wants drivers to have opinions, and NASCAR wants drivers to be out there more on social media. But if you have the wrong opinion, the minute you say the wrong thing, nope, shut up. You're fined. Don't say that. So. What you can't live in both worlds. Either you want the drivers out there and communicating with the fans, or you don't. So you can't be corporate and grassroots at the same time. So you got to pick one side or the other. And NASCAR is trying to live in both worlds in a lot of different ways, in my opinion, allegedly. Hocevar said Mexico was a crap hole, and I agree, BB. I think his apology was forced by his team. Seemed really like himself when he was saying it. Oh, well, see, if you say that, that's a little too far. I'm not going to call a whole country that. That's, I can't get down with that. So I'm glad he did apologize for it. I'm not a big fan of grouping a whole country and calling it one thing. It's just like the big city argument. You go to big cities, there are pockets of stuff that suck, but there's no need to call the entire state a crap hole because there's a few pockets in one city. It's I don't know. Everybody has a right to their opinion. But I'm not going to call a whole country or a city a crap hole just because there are bad sections of it. So yeah, that's my stance on it. But it is what it is. Everybody is welcome to have their own opinion. The format sucks. Like, look at 2024 with Joey winning the title. Says Kyle Busch fan. So there you go. And ironic that a Kyle Busch fan will say it because before Joey did that, all the anti-Kyle Busch people would point to the year that Kyle Busch hurt himself and got into the playoffs. Oh, Kyle Busch doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. So, and to Quattro's point, it sucks until it's your driver that it happens to. So, yeah, the playoffs has been a disaster for NASCAR. There's no two ways about it. Like, I don't see how anybody can argue that the playoffs have been a good thing for NASCAR. So, it is what it is. But some people like the playoffs, so their opinion, of course, is welcome as well. Just giving my 2 cents on it. Plate racing would be better if we went the advertised distance. A wreck happens on lap 198. Oh, well, says Cody Ledger. Indeed. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of overtime. So, it is what it is. It should go to the scheduled distance. Other than that, you get into drama. So, you're doing it just for drama. BB thoughts on Pocono picks, trucks. I got Lane Riggs. I like that pick for sure. Xfinity, I got Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray is due one in the Xfinity series. I'm going to go either Justin Allgaier or Connor Zilic in Xfinity. And Cup, I'm going with John Hunter Nemechek, says in between the lanes. I am going to go with a Toyota in Cup, but I'm going to go with Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs in the Cup Series, or otherwise a Toyota. I'm going to pick a Toyota to win this weekend at Pocono. Dylan was supposedly a right hook. That's why he lost the playoff spot, says Shy. Yeah, all of a sudden that mattered. You know what I mean? So Ross Chastain right hooked somebody to win. AJ Allmendinger right hooked somebody on a road course. But I guess right hooks on a road course are different than right hooks on a circle track, right? So like I said, NASCAR just being NASCAR at the end of the day. They didn't want Austin Dillon, where he was at in the points, to advance in the playoffs. And NASCAR can dance circles around why they did it. But at the end of the day, that's why NASCAR did what they did. It wasn't about safety. It was not about the right hook. It was not about anything other than NASCAR didn't want somebody where Austin Dillon was at in points to be in the playoffs, which is what made karma so fitting the next weekend when Harrison Burton won, who was even lower in points than Austin Dillon. So that was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing to watch all that unfold. I think fans would still be saying NASCAR playoffs if is Brian France's fault, says Douglas Serrano. For sure, for sure. What did you think about the Kyle Busch crash, the big one? Says OJ and Toothpaste. It sucks, man, because he had a fast car. It's just unfortunate. Unfortunate. But stuff like that happens. Stuff like that happens for sure. I thought NASCAR called it the chase because Nextel, aka Sprint, was the title sponsor. I don't know why they called it that, but I just remember it was like the biggest point of contention. Like, don't call it the playoffs, call it the chase. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just always remember it being such a big deal. And just like when some people cry about when I call Twitter X, like it's such a big deal to them. I don't know why. It's one of those things. Some people cry when I say Dodge instead of Ram, like Dodge Ram. It's not Dodge, it's Ram. Like some people just get, I don't know, they get super picky about it. So it's just one of those deals. I don't know why, but it's entertaining and funny to me. At the end of the day, Dodge Ram, Dodge Ram, Dodge Ram. There you go. I've triggered all of everybody. Twitter. I've triggered all of those people as well. When BB asked me why I made a certain move while testing, I did what I had to do, says In Between Lanes. Indeed, we're there to win. We're there to win practice every weekend in between the lanes. Practice is all that matters. Congrats on your fantasy week. I checked yesterday. I think you shot up to fourth. Says Dirty Def. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good overall in fantasy this year. BB, you got a morbid question. If a driver passes the finish line first, but succumb to a wreck before crossing the line, would they still be eligible? Would they weekend at Bernie's in Victory Lane? Says Jamie Schweitzer. They would be in the playoffs. I don't know what NASCAR would do in that situation. My guess would be that car would be in the playoffs and they would have somebody fill in that car for the rest of the season. And that driver would be eligible to win the championship in the other person's name. I'm probably guessing, and this is all just a guess, that's probably how that would go at the end of the day. Hopefully we don't ever have to get an answer to that question though. For sure. Glad I have memories from the season-long championship era. The coverage and storylines were vastly different. Can't imagine Brett Bodine's win being fodder for championship drama, says Tim Brace. Good point, my man. Good point. I saw on Kyle Larson's Instagram, he and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the third, attended a Dodgers game. There you go. Stenhouse Jr. and Larson hanging out. High limit homies for sure. Jamie Schweitzer, why would you ask that, says Shaw? I don't mind the playoffs format. NFL team could go unbeaten during the regular season, but I get knocked out of the playoffs from a wild card team with a losing record, says Dummer Kaufman. It is what it is. That's bizarre. What comes around goes around, says PC Gone Rogue. I'm I'm now 31st in the fantasy, up 3 spots. Let's freaking go. There we go. Quattro's on the move. He's on the move. Look out. Here he comes. Rookie of the year for the BB Fantasy League has to be me. There you go. Quattro, he's going for the more cup. Some people want to win the championship. Quattro, he's just trying to build a dynasty. He's just doing one step at a time. He wants to be rookie of the year, just get a solid base up underneath of him, and then he is going to attack from there. I like your strategy. Quattro. If I'm Ricky, I just take him out on track when the 77 is contending for a win at some point and call it even. That's a good point. That would be a really good deal for sure. Especially if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is struggling in that race, that would be probably the best thing that could happen, just to end the beef and let it all be done. The rest of this season is just drama. Yeah, I agree with you. Last race on Prime for 2025. Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. I think you're spot on, BB. NASCAR made sure they squashed the story, says Dirt Diff. Yeah, NASCAR stepped in for sure. Larson got the fastest lap of the race somehow, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, they tuned him up. They tuned him up for a fast lap. So they probably an air pressure thing, most likely, is what I was guessing. They probably just went out there and made qualifying runs to get that fastest lap as well. Anyone want to see Kyle Busch go back to his winning ways without getting hit with a massive midweek penalty like Briscoe did earlier this year because of his crew chief feeling the pressure, says Douglas Serrano? I think a lot of people want to see Kyle Busch back in victory lane for sure. I posted a video of the Twitch comments made by Hosevar in the Discord. It's definitely worth a listen. I'll check it out. I'll check it out later. Late to the party. I've been getting my windows and slider doors replaced. Says one wise guy. One wise guy getting the lifelong Toyota worked on. The thing will outlive all of us for sure, unless you're getting another car worked on. Could be the wife's Camry, if I'm not mistaken. Aaron Flynn, what's up, my friend? Thumbs up and peace to you as well. Felt bad for the 54. Caution came out at the wrong time. Oh yeah, man, 54. Golly, like a tale of two races, right? If the caution doesn't come out, the 54 is in great position. The caution does come out, SVG is in great position. Obviously, the caution came out, SVG was in great position. Can you get some Taco John's in Murray, Kentucky? You can get some Taco John's in Murray, Kentucky, just north of Paris, Kentucky. I hear you, Sir Wood Rooster. All right, so it's not that far away, relative to having to go all the way to the West Coast. Screw the 54 week after week. They blow it. Gibbs ran great and never got one daggum point. Pathetic, says Shaw. Well, there you go. There you go. He's talking about stage points, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Odds for Pocono. I don't know. I haven't looked at it just yet. I don't even know who would be. Yeah, I don't have it. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let's take a quick look and see what we can get here for Pocono. Tyler Reddick has the best average finish. Martin Truex Jr., who I guess we would substitute his numbers in there for Briscoe at a 6.0. Chase Elliott has a 6.7. Seabell 7.3. So like I said, Toyota track. Bubba Wallace 9.7. William Byron 10.0. Eric Jones 10.7. So there you go. It's a Toyota track all the way as far as that goes. Let's see. There's the link for the merch if you want to help it out. $10 t-shirts going on right now. So if you want a t-shirt for $10, that's what they are for right now. So check them out. The quantities are there as well. So get them while you can. 2025 Until Dawn is a horror version of Groundhog. 2025's Until Dawn is a horror version of Groundhog Day. I hadn't even heard of that, so I'll have to check that one out. Nice Captain Hook impression there, says Sir Wood Rooster. All right, so somebody else knew the Hook impression I was going with. Good form. Let's see. Finally able to catch a live again. LOL. Let's go 24 team and let's go Magic. Hey, say Kyle, we got the trade. We finally got a shooter. Somebody over 40% from three-point land. Go ahead and lock it in. Championship. They say we gave away too many first rounders, but those first rounders are going to be worthless because we're not going to be in the lottery because we're going to win the East every single season from here on out. Magic, let's go. Let's see. Badlands Bandit. The lesson is Pennsylvania is overrated. You should get out here as fast as you can. One day might be too long, says Badlands Bandit. There you go. Apparently Pennsylvania is overrated, according to Badlands Bandit. Real SVG fans eat Marmite and Vegemite, says Shah. So there you go, Shah. Letting you know what you have to do to be a real SVG fan. Noticed sim drivers like Reddick and Byron weren't the best at Mexico, and I wonder if that's because they didn't have an accurate simulation of the track to go off of. I don't know. That's a good question. I hadn't really thought about that. What I have that Sun Energy scheme on 9 first win, and I love it. Damn it, BB. Also, I'm catching the hands from OJ there. So me and OJ in a fierce competition. Neither one of us have more than 30 seconds of cardio, so it's going to be a quick fight. For sure. Nathan Campbell, what's up, my friend? Douglas Serrano. I still think NASCAR needs to raise the horsepower on the Cup cars and put racing back in the driver's hands. A raise in horsepower would definitely be good. Larissa, hello. Any new channel merch? Not yet, but as soon as I can move the $10 t-shirts, basically we got to make room for the new merch. So as soon as I can get those moved out, we are going to get some new designs in there. For sure. So that's what it's all about. $10 t-shirts until we got enough room to get some new merch in there. I said FNBC because they're the ones that want to keep this playoff system around. TV's got too much power, says Elite. So that's a good point. So a lot of the reason that we still have the system we have is because the TV executives and the people that pay all the money to have NASCAR on their channels, they have way too much authority in how the sport is run and exactly what goes on with it. That is a fact. Sounds good about the Dragon Meal. Laughing my butt off, says OJ and Toothpaste. NBC's coverage would be better if they didn't constantly talk about the playoffs. I care more about the race itself than the playoffs. I don't need to see the standings every second, says Napa Racing Fan. That's a fair point. That's a fair point for sure. Even though it stinks to see a diecast get canceled, the list is reduced. Plus, when I see a new diecast is available, automatic add to the wish list. Says in between the lanes. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I understand it. I've had several that I ordered get canceled too, so that's always a bummer. There is the link to the Discord from One Wise Guy as well. I took SVG from Mexico, so I had a good race, says Larissa. Indeed, I had him. I picked him for the win too, so I definitely had a good fantasy day as well. Kyle, who do you think will be the first Honda team? Says Nathan Campbell. That's a good question. I've got. I just always felt like it's either going to be Spire or Trackhouse that's the Honda team, and I don't know why. It just feels like that one of those teams is going to, or both are going to be the Honda team. If Penske drivers, the only ones that like the playoffs, always, and don't forget Legacy. Add Legacy to that mix as well. Legacy could be the Dodge or the Honda team because a Legacy wants to be a tier 1 team, and it doesn't matter where the equipment is coming from. Notice that they're with Toyota, but they're still doing their own thing as far as setups and stuff like that goes. They rejected the help from JGR, so don't sleep on Legacy going to a different manufacturer at some point either. If Penske drivers are the only ones that like the playoffs, I always hear Joey talking about how great it is. Says well, Joey's won 2 of them. So if I'm Joey, I'm talking about how great the playoffs are too, right? You know what I mean? No doubt about it. So you got to, you know where your bread's buttered. So you got to keep getting the butter. On Earth 2, what is the playoff system? The playoff system doesn't exist on Earth 2. We just race every single weekend. And as soon as the championship is over, the new season starts. They shoot marbles, OJ. We shoot marbles. Yeah, the playoffs are a whole side deal. It has nothing to do with the championship. The playoffs are just for DraftKings. Let's see, BB, have you ever watched NRF Productions on his second channel, Fuel Cell Full? I do know that he has a second channel. I think I've watched 1 or 2 of the videos on the Fuel Cell Full channel, but I'm not exactly sure why he started the second channel or anything like that. But yeah, I do know he's got 2 channels for sure. DF, we talking about? What up, my brother? Says Krusty. I do fantasy NASCAR, and we can only pick one driver one time. Last season, I got 5 wins. Woohoo! So fun to get to know all of the drivers. Says Larissa. Indeed. So that's a different way of going about it. We get, I think we get 9. I think we get 9 uses for each driver, or maybe 10. I can't remember. I think it's 10. Actually, it's 10 off the top of my head. So 10 uses. And then I think they reset for the playoffs. So you still have to use them wisely, but we do get more than 1 use in the fantasy league we're in. Shout out to Say Kyle, who set that up for us as well. I miss when NASCAR media could actually call the sport out and be critical while still loving the sport. Me too, Napa Racing Fan. It only took until 2024 for some to finally publicly criticize the format, says Napa. Mama Smith defended the playoff system again on the Harvick podcast. Shill says OJ and toothpaste. Yeah, I mean, at this point, honestly, anybody defending the playoff system, even NASCAR executives have basically admitted that they're going to change it at some point. So anybody defending the playoff system, they're doing it out of a sense of I'm getting paid. So there you go. Are you saying there is a flaw in the way the apps are constructed? They take away the options. Americans like options, says Badlands Bandit. Could be. Marmite and Vegemite are awful. SVG is going to get better, says Shah. Fist bump there. 26 months, a member, for sure. Of course he did. He's playoff plant Mamba. Oh, wow. Going in on Mamba here today. That's take it easy. He's the busiest guy. He's got to be close to the busiest dude in all of NASCAR media. He's on like what, 3 or 4 or 5 shows, maybe. So he's busy, and he's also the track hype guy, the chief hype officer. He's always at the track doing stuff too. So whether you like his opinions or not, he's certainly a hard worker. You have to give him that for sure. Sobo 200, couple weeks. That's the sheet. Says Krusty, NASCAR sheet checkers. Yeah, Sobo 200 going to be a good one. For sure. The first leg of the Harley Davidson Triple Crown, a big race for everybody always. Laughing my butt off, Shaw, says OJ and toothpaste. I thought Mexico was a good race, says Douglas. Krusty waving the rainbow flag, and Joey Rainbows says, Krusty, at least Dale Jr. isn't afraid to call something out, doesn't hide his true opinions, especially on his podcast. Says Napa Race fan. Yeah, I think he was one of the first ones as far as the big NASCAR media people to actually speak out and say the playoffs need to at least be adjusted or tweaked. So shout out to him for that. He does just a lot of stuff, not only for like NASCAR, but for the grassroots level and stuff too. Dale Jr. Doing good things overall for the racing community. OJ and Toothpaste too. I had a better comment, but only get 50 spaces. Says Shah. Is today the last Amazon broadcast? I think so. Yes, sadly, says Napa Race fan. Then we get, we get the bracket challenge for TNT. Aren't you excited? Yes, sadly, says Napa Race fan. Yes, says In Between the Lanes. Hulu released a teaser for the new King of the Hill premiering August 4th. Shout out to the Indian, the dude that did the Indian guy's voice, John Red. What was it? Redcorn? He passed away, unfortunately. So remember him when that comes out. Kyle Busch wins Pocono, says John Ray. Denny Hamlin, the Pocono King, will win, says Napa Race fan. Yeah, I'm picking Kyle Busch to win Pocono too. All right, so a lot of Kyle Busch picks here. Shout out to Lady Bird Hill, a pure Georgia bloodhound, says In Between the Lanes. Denny wins Pocono, says One Wise Guy. That's not a bad pick. He's really good at Pocono for sure. Time to give his son the ride, says Krusty. Now, son, says Krusty. I know what you mean on name, BB. It will always be the Busch Series to me, says the Brain. Yeah, for sure. I still refer to it as the Busch Series when I'm not on channel. BB, that is all we're talking about each week, says In Between the Lanes. Yeah, for sure. Drama. Anyone remember the King saying NASCAR is getting nitpicky with their rules, regulations, and disqualifications, says Douglas Serrano. Indeed. BB, did you want me to ask the owner of the Volkswagen if he would sell the purple rim, white car with the giant antenna, satellite, and wing? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I would rather walk. I'm not going to say what I said in Discord. I would rather walk across hot coals than work on a VW of that year. They had some bad wiring until the mid 2000s when they fixed it. So I'm out on that one. Have fun with it. If anybody wants a Fiat, we got one for sale. Fiat 500. Come get it. Fun facts, bring money, because everybody else that said they'll buy it didn't bring money. Anyway, fun fact, no current Toyota Cup driver has won a championship, says Jamie Schweitzer. Oh, that's a crazy stat, but it is true. As a new fan, when the champion was decided by overall points, were they pretty close, or was the winner usually decided by a handful of races to go? So it usually went down to the final race, but it was not as close as some people would like it to be. But there were several seasons where it was really close. It was just it just depended on the year. So all these people that were like, oh, it's going to be done with 3 races to go. The number of times it was actually done with multiple races to go was a very low percentage. I'll have to look up the actual number because I don't want to pull something off the top of my head that's inaccurate. But it wasn't like this chronic thing that was constantly happening the way that they make it out to be. Only Toyota drivers to win a championship are Busch and Truex Jr. Shout out to Martin Truex Jr. says In Between the Lanes. The answer to that morbid question is no. If a driver does not complete a full lap after taking the checker flag, then they are penalized either a lap or a finish. As of the last lead lap cars, ask Mark Martin, says Sir Wood Rooster. In the Winn-Dixie, number 60, Ford Thunderbird. Mark Martin pulled off 1 lap too early. And then there was Bell. You're going to have to beat Bell for the championship this year, for sure. House Windows says, House Windows. I got you, brother. It is the year of the cowbell, says Shah. Indeed. Blue Oyster Cult? I can't remember who sings that song. Let's see. This dude shout out replies. Let's get some likes. MFers, says Krusty. Indeed. Likes are appreciated, but don't feel pressured into getting them. BB, I like the Ford Bronco Heritage Edition 4-door version and the Strop Edition. Says In Between the Lanes. Never enough cowbell. Shah's got a fever, and the only thing that can cure it is more cowbell. I'm sitting in 3rd, and my fantasy league would be in 1st if the 60 and 22 didn't get disqualified. Oh, that's a bummer, Delmer. That's a bummer. Got DQ'd at Talladega. Unfortunate. Bad times, bad times. I heard a couple of media members say the first time at RCR KFB was voicing his frustration about some things while they were in Mexico. Says Dirty Diff. That's unfortunate because looked like that was driver error as far as that particular singular event goes. But you never know. You never know what he was exactly voicing his opinion about. I saw Ty Gibbs in both races. He got straight up bullied. They knocked him out of the way every chance they had. Says Enzo. Indeed, Ty Dillon as well. Ty Dillon got roughed up several times too. He was having a good run, but people just didn't respect him at all and moved him out of the way several occasions. I saw that on TV. BB, I was talking about Gibbs not getting any points in Mexico. Just made me mad because I had him in fantasy. Useless tit. Says Shy, not one, says Shy. So there you go. I got my 2 shirts and 2 stickers thrown in, says PC Gone Rogue. Hey, there you go. There you go. 2 stickers. I appreciate you, my friend. McLaren took each other out at Canada F1. Yeah, so I didn't even see that one. So that's I'll have to go back and watch the F1 race. I forgot they even had one. To be honest with you, I will post Vegemite eating video in Discord soon and show my loyalty to King SVG. Says Quattro coming with the Vegemite content, just like we always wanted. Make sure that there is a red bush in the background, my friend. Let's see. Red bush apple, of course, is what I'm talking about, just so that's not interpreted inappropriately. Say Kyle, 2 first rounders for Bain, 1 first rounder for KCP's contract, and 1 first rounder to take Cole's contract. 4 picks made sense. LOL. So say Kyle, hey, that's right. There we go. Norris made a really dumb move on the last lap. Definitely didn't help his finish. Quattro, you have a whole new experience coming to you. LOL, I've tried both, says Shaw. That's exactly what Dale Jr. said, that it's ultimately television that decides everything, including the playoffs. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I'm glad he's ratting out NBC, though, now that he doesn't work for him. Can we go back to 5 lugs? Not every race needs to be a fuel race, says Like Dislike. For sure. Yeah, for sure. For sure. NASCAR should have a TV timeout like other sports. Says PC on Rogue. They do. It's called a stage break. I picked SVG for the head-to-head matchup picks. I like it. Worked out for you for sure. I was kind of thinking legacy to Honda. Could be. They're definitely doing their own thing for a reason. That's what stages were created for, says MPF, talking about the TV timeouts. Do you think SVG will get a top 5 or top 10 on an oval this year? Oh, yeah, for sure. I think so for sure. And probably it's going to be at a short track. There's still a debate whether or not to get rid of stage racing, says Douglas Serrano. I don't think the debate is the stage racing necessarily so much as it's the stage break that goes with it. In between the lanes, says 10. Sir Wood Rooster thought that Mark Martin thing, he went down pit road on the white flag. He didn't take the checkered flag, says Charlotte. Indeed. That's the way I remembered it as well. MPF aren't stages, so the driver in last can catch up. It might be. BB, you need to eat Marmite and celebrate SVG win. LOL, says OJ and Toothpaste. I'm off the Marmite. I don't deserve a shout out for setting up the league. I deserve a shout out for not deleting anyone, beating me in the standings, says Say Kyle. Hey, there you go. So you get a shout out for that as well. Shout out for not deleting, for getting beat in the league by other drivers or by other team owners, I should say. A few weeks ago, BB, you commented about how to do good in fantasy league. Just remember to set your field and you will be top 25. This is super true, says Sir Wood Rooster. Yeah, just don't forget to set your team. That's the key to any fantasy league. When they play the Toyota Gonzo commercial too much, they play the Toyota Gazoo commercial too much on YouTube, says Like Dislike. Yeah, Toyota always does one commercial and they play the mess out of it. Ram. I'm so sorry. I've hurt everyone's feelings again. Dodge Ram plays their commercials way too often as well. I got a heart like a truck. Remember that one? We need to sign him for American Idol right now. We need to get stage cautions out of road courses and let them put on rain tires when the teams see fit. I was disappointed they babied them this weekend. I agree. Let the teams pick when to put the tires on. 100% agree with you, Enzo. This is supposed to be top level racing. I agree with you 100%, Enzo. I just saw the headline, SVG crew chief change. Says Shah. Didn't look at the story. We'll look up after BB wraps up, says Shah. BB, we doing fantasy football this year? You set it up, Quattro. I'll jump in for sure. Same booth for TNT, I believe. Says in between the lanes, pretty similar if I'm not mistaken, but I'll have to go back and look at it. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Do you see the future of road courses being SVG and Zillich battling each other up front? Throw AJ Allmendinger and a couple others up in there as well. Amber Rell, Celebrity Chef, apparently died today too. Says, say Kyle, yeah, I'm not familiar with her name. I'll probably recognize her face when I see it, but I don't, off the top of my head, I don't recognize her name. So I have to check that one out when I hop off here. I just hope there's not another DQ at Pocono like there was 3 years ago, says Douglas Serrano. I hope so too. That was one piece of tape, but it was a very expensive, costly piece of tape for sure. And Chase Elliott didn't even want the trophy when he got it. They said Denny loves doing sim racing. Do you think he was doing sim all weekend when everybody else was in Mexico? Got to have a break from the baby every once in a while. I wouldn't put it past him. Like when he's not on baby duty and he wasn't maybe sleeping, probably was doing a little sim racing. Sim for Pocono, says Dirty Def. It could be. VW had hired drunken plumbers from England to do their wiring, says PC Gone Rogue. So the actual issue with the VW and all of the German wiring back then was they used eco-friendly wire shielding on the wires, and it degraded. So because it was eco-friendly. So when it degraded, it caused a lot of electrical issues. So that's actually the issue with those early 2000s to 2010s, mid 2010s German cars, period. Is your Louis Smith documentary running at the museum? It ran for a year. I don't know if it's still up there at the Ypsilanti, I think was where it was at. So I think the year is up, but it did run for a year in a museum. So appreciate you, One Wise Guy. Yeah, for sure. I did have a video running in a museum for a while, so that was definitely a cool thing. I don't think I talked about it, but I talked about it in the Discord a little bit. Shout out to Briscoe, 7th at Mexico City, says in between the lanes. Yeah, Briscoe got it done, hit everything but the pace car, but ends up in 7th place. Do you think Busch will get in the playoffs? I hope so. I think he'll get a win and get in the playoffs. That's just my feelings on it. I love the old season points championship. Too much overreaction to Kenseth championship. 100% agree with you, Bruce Garvey. They should just give the winner a 25-point bonus and go back to season points. Yep, that's all the fans really wanted. I agree with you 100%, Bruce Garvey. I feel like Pat McAfee is too much of a homer for the Pacers. Shout out to Pat McAfee at the same time. Says in between the lanes. Indeed. Thoughts on Taylor Gray? I've slowly started to become a fan of how he handles himself. Hopefully he'll get a win. He's definitely grown up a lot. Like I saw him racing when he was like 15 at Orange County. So he's definitely grown a lot since then. So yeah, he's doing a good job. I saw the talent there even back then though. Like the dude can wheel. There's no doubt about it. The guy can drive. You were correct. I was going to let it go, but that's true about Mark Martin, says Jamie Schweitzer. Dirty Def almost won Mexico City. It says in between the lanes, Cale Yarber pulled off a lap early also in Richard's 200th win. Says Delmer Kaufman. So there you go. Cale Yarborough pulled one too. The GOAT, Cale Yarborough, right there. You see him? Cale Yarborough hat. Appreciate Craig Moore got me that. Shout out to Craig Moore. Lime Busch car for Chastain this weekend, says OJ and toothpaste. The Busch Light lime. So there you go. If you can't get an apple Busch Light, let's see a lime Busch Light back there when you're eating the Marmite or whatever you got to do to be an SVG fan. Quattro BB, who gets the first W? Bad Brad, Bubba, KFB, or Ty? I'm going to go with Ty Gibbs there, or KFB. Flip a coin. I think those two are going to be the first to get the dub there. That's who I'm picking. Bigger hot seat, but if you go statistically and by analytics, it would probably be either Bubba or Ty Gibbs. Bigger hot seat, the 99 or the 48. Ooh. 48 is signed for next season, so I'm going to say the 99 is on the hotter seat, but they're both routinely on the hot seat. Toyota really found a way to go from turd to something that sounds even sillier, says say Kyle. Indeed, they've gone from turd to gazoo, but I don't know. They'll eventually shorten it to just GR. It's just going to be GR racing, but right now it's gazoo. Shout out to Adam Alexander, says in between the lanes. Chef with the blonde spiked hair, says One Wise Guy. Okay, so I'll have to look it up because there's several. There's like an Australian guy that's like that. I think I know who you're talking about now though. So okay, I'll have to look that up. Amazon. I'm probably gonna know exactly who it is once I see him. Amazon overplayed their commercial to the point of I don't want to hear Up Around the Bend again for the rest of the year, says MPF. Yep, but you know what? I like that song. So much like the dude. Hopefully the credence tape. If they steal my car, hopefully they leave the credence tape in there. Even though the police officer said there's not much hope for the credence tape. Let's see. Legacy Motor Club to Dodge. Will the truck team turn up to a Cup team then? Honda with Chip Ganassi Racing would be the other one, says Nathan Campbell. There you go. Nathan Campbell making his predictions as to who are going to be the new team owners and all that good jazz. The crew chief change for SVG is just the guys at Colleague Nation on YouTube page. They're wanting to get rid of Steven Doran. His job is safe. The team is still growing and getting better, says Dirty Def. So there you go. It is just rumor and innuendo and wishful thinking from Colleague Nation. McDowell dominated the Indy Road Course and stage breaks were gone, says OJ and Toothpaste. Oh yeah, for sure. Michael McDowell put a whooping on him one time too, and I appreciated that race as well. But that got rid of the stage, or that brought stage breaks back to road courses. So I have 94 points in my league. How would I stack up in your league? I think you'd be in pretty good shape if I remember correctly. But it just depends on how things are scored and whatnot. So I would have to take a look at that. I need help finding a favorite Toyota Gazoo. Racing has what you need. Favorite driver or a favorite car? Because if we're going with favorite cars, without a doubt, the Yaris, that's the really souped up Yaris, or the Corolla, that's the one. That's the one. Douglas Serrano, my favorite Dairy Queen, as opposed to Don Quixote. Don Quixote, that's a great book. Super dense, but if you basically got to read a history book before you read that book. But if you read the history book, then read Don Quixote. Great book. But if you don't want to do all that, there is a musical. But don't stop. Stay with me here. There is a musical called Man of La Mancha. If you don't want to do either one of them, so Man of La Mancha. And if you've ever watched NFL films, you'll recognize some of the music from Man of La Mancha, because they used the mess out of it every time they were talking about the Green Bay Packers. They used basically the music from Man of La Mancha, which is based on Don Quixote. All right. That's the NASCAR information everybody needed right there. That's what you're here for, and that's what I deliver. Weaponized 7th for Briscoe, says Dirty Def. Older British cars were an electrical nightmare. Yeah, MGs and Morgans for sure. Good call, PC. I still to this day think that Matt DiBenedetto has to get another shot in the Cup Series with a top tier organization. I still believe in him, says Douglas. Talent wise, probably. As he, I don't know if he's burned too many bridges. Really, Jamie Schweitzer? I never heard of Don Quixote, says Douglas Serrano. So also, there was a cartoon back in the day called Don Coyote, Don Coyote, which was also Don Quixote. So there's if you want to just visually watch it without reading the book, because the book is like this big. It's a big book. Check it out. But one of the greatest books of all time for sure. When will Briscoe get a win? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll? I don't know. Matty D made his bed. He doesn't deserve a top tier seat. Never has, never will, says Charlotte. So there you go. For every Matty D believer, there are Matty D doubters. So there you go. Win first, Ty Gibbs or Josephus. Not going to be a popular pick, but I'm going to go with Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is going to win first. 24 Hours of Le Mans is this weekend as well. Oh, that's rad. I forgot about that. So yeah, they American Thunder, they did the documentary about the NASCAR Garage 56 entry. So you can check that out on Amazon as well. I believe this is the first time in NASCAR history that an American-born driver hasn't won a race in the weekend. Times are a changing, boys, and I'm here for it. Yeah, I think you're right. I said it at the end of the video, and I don't know. I think it is the first time. I think you're right. I can't remember another time. I guess I need to look it up. Let's try and Adam Alexander guest on Dale Jr. show this week, says Dirty Def. That'll be pretty cool. As soon as you see her, you'll know who she is, says one wise guy, referring to Don Quixote. Copperhead Road used a Chevrolet truck commercial. Fogarty still has it, says Dirty Def. Were you impressed with Ryan Truex, says OJ and Toothpaste? I was impressed with him when he wasn't sideways. So he did good other than that. Will SVG run Wendy's scheme like Suarez and Chastain? He usually does. He usually does have one. Nice hat once again, number 43. Indeed, got the Eric Jones. This was the Petty GMS, but still a cool hat. Let's see, Peter O. Yeah, Peter O. I think Peter O'Toole was in that one for sure. Lawrence of Arabia, Peter O'Toole, also in The Man of La Mancha, Destiny Calls. I was slash am a moron and thought I was Don Quixote until I was Don Quixote until I was a far older person than I should have known, says Charlotte Ander. Indeed. Tool Man of La Mancha, says Shah. Peter O'Toole is, I think, who they're referring to there. Did you ever watch Married with Children back in the day? Psycho Dad? I watched Married with Children. I don't remember the Psycho Dad episode off the top of my head. I still hope Matty D silences the doubters and haters, says Douglas Serrano. I am still tilting at windmills, says Shah. Indeed, Don Quixote battled the windmills. They were dragons or something like that. Evil villains, just depends on the interpretation, I believe. Matt DiBenedetto ran a Barstool Sports scheme when he drove the number 95 Levine Family Racing. Says In Between the Lanes. There have been several Barstool cars, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody said there was a new documentary on Amazon Prime this week, Tony Stewart, called like Sprint. I think it talks about the dirt accident. Oh, there is one that talks about it. It's not new, but there is one that definitely specifically talks about that entire event in depth. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it is called Dirt or something like that, or Sprint. I'm calling Christopher Bell for the W at Pocono. YRB a close second place too. Hey, Christopher Bell is a good pick. Good pick. I'm picking a Toyota regardless there. Al Bundy once threw 4 touchdowns in a game at Polk High. It says In Between the Lanes. I'm going to throw up a real quick poll. 45% done away with points for the go with points for the full season. Not surprised that that's the winner. But we're gonna do a lightning poll, lightning round, lightning. What's up, Donut? James Pumphrey, what's up? Let's see, who was the better quarterback? We're gonna go Al Bundy or Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. That is the poll. We must know the results here. This is the only poll. This is the only poll on this live stream or any live stream that matters. Who was the better quarterback, Al Bundy or Uncle Rico? Well, that's what inspired this question. So Tom Cruise allegedly told Jeff Gordon Days of Thunder 2 is happening. So there you go. Days of Thunder 2 might be happening. Tom Cruise allegedly told Jeff Gordon Days of Thunder 2 is potentially happening. Psycho Dad was Al Bundy's favorite show. The opening jingle, he shot his wife because she weighed a ton, says Dirty Death. Hey, there you go. There you go. Al Bundy, always fighting for women's rights. Nothing Matty D can do to silence me after he got bullied out of a pretty sure win by No Neck Ryan Newman and cried that Jesus didn't love him enough, says Charlotte. Okay, well, there you go. I forgot about that. Jesus didn't love him enough. That's why he didn't win. So maybe if young Teasus goes and lays hands on Matty D, that curse will be removed. What's the name of that thing? I can't remember. Anyway, SVG, stop telling me to slow down. LOL, says Shah. Yeah, I loved SVG's reaction to that. Florida versus Edmonton is on now, says Douglas Serrano. So there you go. If you need to see the hockey matchup, it is on now. Florida going to win. Sorry, Canadian fans. Stanley Cup not coming back this year either, unfortunately. Florida going to take it. Everybody in Canada says it's going to Game 7. That is a fact. Al for sure, says Shah. Talking about the poll right now, 83% saying Al Bundy. This is the only poll that will ever matter on this channel. Uncle Rico getting no love. If you watch Napoleon Dynamite and loved Uncle Rico, you better get your vote in now, because Uncle Rico down bad, not coming back. It looks like it's called The Hit, I believe. Says Stephen D'Amelio Jr. It might be called The Hit. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but I know it's on Amazon, and it's a little bit of an older documentary, but it's definitely up there. I got that on the background. Says In Between the Lanes, Florida up 2-0. There you go. Yankees are losing, bottom of the ninth, says PC Gone Road. Don't worry, we're coming back. Yankees are coming back, PC. We got this. Okay, cool. In Between the Lanes, says Douglas Serrano. All right. That looks like we've reached the end of it. No love for Uncle Rico. If I could vote, I would vote for Uncle Rico. Peggy could never get Al in the mood, says Delmer Kaufman. She got him in the mood at least twice, allegedly. Al's just a legend. He actually started. LOL says Dirty Death. Uncle Rico started too, man. Did you see how far he threw the football? Like literally 100 yards every time, man. Like he was pinpoint accuracy. He could throw the steak and smack somebody in the face with it. I mean, literally the goat of all goats. The funniest thing about the Uncle Rico thing, they had him throwing meat. Uncle Rico in real life is actually a vegetarian, so he probably didn't even want to be handling the meat. But he showed that he's a true professional and threw the meat anyway. Thanks, BB. Pocono should be a wild one piece, says Jamie Schweitzer. Indeed, Pocono should be a good one. All right, final results. Al Bundy, 84%. I did what I could. I did what I could, Uncle Rico. But the win's going to go to Al Bundy. Final results of the poll question. He said if coach put him in 83, so that means he was on the bench. That means he got benched. He was probably starting, but I don't know. You're right. He probably was a bench warmer. It is what it is. Where did the other kid named Seven come from? Says like dislike. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Slight decrease, but 80% for Al Bundy at the end of this one. Until the next one, y'all were fun. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to. But yeah, peace.